Hello, I'm Jeanne Stoner, and I'm a member of the Career Experts Group. I'm here today to teach you how to write a fantastic technical resume. Before we get started, I just want to share a bit about me. I have an accomplished HR career with Motorola in the tech industry. I worked in recruiting, organizational development, training, and talent development. I spent 30 years supporting engineers in this industry, and that's why I have a passion for writing for technologists. I reinvented myself in my 50s and have had a 7-year career as a senior outplacement coach, a career consultant, where I worked with Mullen International, Lehigh Harrison, the White Hat Group, and Life Working. I've had the privilege of writing resumes for 1,000 clients from college grads to executives. I'm a certified personal branding specialist, resume writer, and storyteller, and I'm using all of my expertise to share with you how to do a great job with your technical resume. So let's talk about our focus. We're going to work on 5 tips for success. We're going to review a resume and help you understand what's missing. And then I'm going to share best practices so you understand how to apply all these tips to writing a resume that works really well. 5 tips for success. Number 1, we want you to use a combined format and modernize the look of your resume. Second, we want to help you write a strategic resume that's targeted for your future job. What role do you want to do next? Third, we want you to speak to your business value and business impact, because what's challenging with a technical resume is you have to write to the HR professional, a non-technical expert, as well as to technical decision makers. So how do you do that? We use a business value, and then we showcase the fourth tip is distinction. We want to help you stand out from others by using distinctive storytelling throughout the resume, from the top of the resume to the end. And then most important, number 5, is we want to help you build an applicant tracking friendly resume, both focused on technical skills, process skills, and software keywords. We'll show you how to do that. So in our resume review, this is an example of John Smith. He sent me his resume. And when we had our first consulting call, we sat down and asked a few questions. First of all, the flow of the resume. Is this the best layout aligned to your search strategy? Should we have the technical table on page 1? In this example, this individual wants to be a software manager. So perhaps technical table needs to go on page 2 and emphasize more his leadership skills on page 1. The look is kind of basic, right? So how can we modernize it? Can we modernize it and make it stand out a little bit more? And third, readability. Is it readable and easy to skim? So is it possible to move out the content to 2 pages? So we started with those questions and then worked our way through more detail. Now let's look at the top of the resume. This is how it came in. You see it started with a summary with many, many bullets, had a technical table, and then education. So the question is, in that summary, does it showcase your business value? Does a non-technical reader understand all these technical terms in that summary section? Does the skill set, the technical skills on page 1, do we want to have that? Is that part of your strategy? Or should we move that technical table to page 2? And education, is that the right flow for education? Does it need to show on page 1? Or do we showcase it later on in the flow? So what's important is to help this resume stand out is the flow needed to change. So we wanted it to have a combined format. This is an industry best practice and a modern look. So how do you do that? So on page 1, you start with your name, you have it pop, you showcase the title or what you want to do next. You showcase distinction, a little summary section at the top, and also signature strengths, non-technical words that'll help you stand out. Then combined with the flow, you then go into your experience section and showcase your job achievements, move on to education, move on to a technical table, and then distinction. So maybe there's more you can add in this end of this resume where you showcase your professional organizations or community service, military experience, awards or patents, or software proficiency. If you have these additional qualifications, you want to showcase them at the end of the resume to help you stand out and be distinctive. Now let's talk about strategy. And I like to use the GPS analogy because when you think about programming your resume like a GPS. So where are you going? Do you know what those targeted roles are? Because like a GPS, if you put in an address, you're going to get to where you want to go. Job titles are the same. If you put in the exact job title in a resume, that resume is going to help you get to that. That job title is going to help you get to your destination. So have you researched job titles using tools like LinkedIn Explorer? I'll show you that in a little bit. Or have you looked at 3 to 5 job descriptions and studied job titles and studied those keywords so you can program the right job title into that resume? You don't want to necessarily be just a software manager. You might want to be a specific type of software manager. So let's look at how to do that. The next thing about the resume is it came in, it started with this summary section, which you can see lots of bullets. So the question is, what's the strategy here? What's the targeted title that you want to do next? What's your business value? Are you telling your story to a non-technical reader? Will a non-technical HR professional value all the technical skills that you have listed right at the beginning of this resume? Is it distinctive? Does this list of 12 bullets showcase what makes you stand out from others? And is it modern? Can you simplify this list so it's easy to read and simple to scan? So what's the solution to that? This is it. This is what we call the intro part of the resume, which is loaded with strategy. See where we have software engineering lead. It showcases business value. I love under a title to add your value in this example. Passionate about solving business problems through innovation and engineering practices. Continuously strive for improvement and learning. And people leader and talent developer. And we added that business value because this person is trying to go from his last senior software development job where he was a programmer to his first manager job. So we wanted to amplify his value at leading people and developing talent. Then distinction, okay? Look at the words in bold: applications innovator, team technical leader, project management, environment. Right there, those words in bold showcase what makes him distinctive or his top 3 to 4 selling points compared to other applicants. So this is a great way to show distinction. It's a great way to draw in the attention of a non-technical as well as a technical reader. It's also modern. You see how we use shading. You see how we took his unique credentials, an MBA with a technical degree, and showcased them right up in the top right-hand corner. You don't want to put them next to your name because the applicant tracking system won't read it well. You want to separate the title, your degrees from your name. Okay, see how we use some bolding in here. We use some bolding of the fonts. We use some shading, a nice modern look to get started with this beautiful resume. Now, the second part of his resume, he came in with his technical table. And let's talk about technical tables. I loved it. It had an excellent list, nicely organized. But the question is, are these the right keywords? Will this get you a high SEO score because you're applying to a computer, not to a person? The resume scores you based on keywords. The goal is a 70% score or higher. So is this the right list? Are these the right keywords? And have you checked to make sure with a tool called LinkedIn Explorer? Or have you put your resume into a tool called SkillSyncer, where you can enter your resume and enter the job description, and it'll tell you your SEO score, and then you can adapt the resume based on your findings. Is it strategic? This is on page 1. So in this case, I was encouraging John Smith to move this technical table to page 2 because he wants to be a manager. We want to showcase his leadership skills on page 1, his technical skills on page 2. Then modern, can we make this list look more cool, more modern, stand out to the reader? So here we go. Here's our answer. So what you see is this: John Smith took this list and he read a bunch of job descriptions and he added in technical keywords to make sure he wasn't missing anything and had a comprehensive list. He was strategic. He agreed to move it to page 2, which made sense, aligned to his job search strategy. And we modernized it. We used a table. You can use a table in applicant tracking system. It'll come in through look like a list as it comes in through the the system, the files transformation, it'll come in as a list, but you can still use it. And we use some nice bold shading, bolding and shading to help it look readable, stand out, draw attention to the eye. Great use of a technical table. Now let's talk search engine optimization. I've used that word over and over again. There are, in this example, there are 193 now. Over time, there are over 200. These are the big systems. You may know of others, but we have to talk to them. We have to get your resume through the applicant tracking system and into the hands of a human. So how do we do that? You want to make sure your keywords are perfect. And I love to use this word LinkedIn, this tool called LinkedIn Explorer. The LinkedIn, the URL is right here in this post, or you can Google LinkedIn Explorer and you can go get right to the site. And what do you do with it? You enter in a job title. You can put software manager, software developer, and it's going to give you a laundry list of other titles. And you want to look through that list and pick the titles that best match what you want to do next. And then you want to study this long list of keywords that it gives you. It gives you a beautiful list of keywords. You want to make sure those keywords are in your resume, embedded in context, not just in a skills list from the top of the resume to the bottom, because this will drive a high SEO score. Okay. It'll also give you titles to the right. So you might want to scan through those titles and see if there's other titles you want to add to the resume, or think about changing out your main title to match one that's a better fit. So resume improvement. After using LinkedIn Explorer with John Smith, we decided we needed a signature strengths list on page 1. And you can see these skills are different, these keywords. We have application development, software development lifecycle, system integration, component and system level testing. These are all process keywords. And in this example, this resume, the process keywords were as important as the technical words. So we also were strategic because this person's going for a leadership role. We added this keyword list to page 1 rather than page 2. Now let's look at the experience section, okay? When this resume came in from John, I really loved, if you look under his title, he had a lot of great storytelling. He was talking about his business value. He was talking about the projects he was working on, but it was long information. It wasn't written very tight and concise. And remember, we want to get this resume on 2 pages. So this was an opportunity improvement, but still great storytelling, great way of showing business value. We didn't want to lose it completely. Then he had a list of responsibilities. See, he's listing kind of a job description. So the question is, how can we rewrite this job description and focus on achievements versus job duties? Because that'll make you distinctive. Then I loved that he had an environment. He had the environment he was working in with all the technical keywords. And what I loved about this is technical decision makers like this a lot. This is written for a technical decision maker. And in fact, in this resume, John Smith got when we made the changes, he got a job within 30 days with a top 500 Fortune company aligned perfectly to what he wanted to do next. So it was a very successful resume. And I think a key reason for that is that he showcased his business value, and he also embedded those technical keywords. So before we look at how he made those changes, let's just take a look at business value. And I always encourage you to write your experience section telling SOAR stories. So if you're not familiar with SOARs, the S stands for situation or obstacle. And what you want to write about is to explain the project and problems you were asked to fix. What problems or projects were you asked to fix? The action, what actions did you take to make things better? And the result is, how did your work add business value? And when you're writing a technical resume, the business value is things like design new products, increased efficiencies, improved innovative new ideas, reduce cycle time, increase sales or revenue, reduce costs, and the list goes on and on. Improved quality is a great one. Received an award or patent. You want to think about this business value and you want to showcase it. You want to brag in your experience section. Let's take a look how to do that. So here, John and I rewrote this section. We focused on value and distinction. And if you look right under your job title, we talk a little bit about the scope of his job, but what I love most is the project, modernizing account open functionality for small business. That shows your business value. That shows by highlighting the projects you're working on, a non-technical reader can very quickly understand the value you're adding to the work. and it'll draw in their attention, it'll make them want to hire you and call you. And then look at what we did with the words in bullet number one. Look at bullet number one, enhanced availability and alerting mechanism to avoid downtime. And then we explained, we used technical terms, innovated and developed a distributed microservices using, on and on, a lot of technical terms. So you see how we show in this bullet, here's the result. This is what I achieved. This is the business value, enhanced availability and alerting mechanism and downtime. Then we showed the action. We talked about the technical solution and how he achieved that goal. So it's all about showcasing value and then the action. Let's take a look at the second bullet. Leading and mentoring team in agile Scrum environment, collaborating with developers involving facilitating Scrum meetings, user story grooming, and sprint retrospect. So here we're showcasing how he's leading teams, because again, the strategy is to be a software manager, and we want to show that he has that experience. So in summary, you showcase your business value in this section. You can use bolding to showcase that business value. And again, look at how I added, I enhanced that environment. I asked him to talk more about his environment because we want to embed keywords in the context of the writing to draw in the applicant tracking system and to attract the attention and the excitement of the technical decision maker. So that's it for today. So I want to encourage you to read our career experts. We produce a monthly newsletter, and you can view more. You can view our the newsletter at our website, careerexpertsgroup.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter, or you can reach us at info@careersgroup.com. And I want to thank you for your time today. And I want to encourage you that if you can dream it, you can dream about that next job, you can do it by writing a fantastic technical resume. Thanks for your time. Good luck.